Two airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country. I have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families, and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act. Terrorism against our nation will not stand. And now, if you join me in a moment of silence. May God bless the victims, their families, and America. Thank you very much.
President Bush on video taken forward. We go back to live picture. You're looking just past the Empire State Building, the majestic building.
The case for the rest of the day.
Bush Mitchell, we go to Washington and Jim Stewart. Jim, just before I turn the mic over to you, that the leadership of the Congress, the United States Congress, both House and Senate, reports that they are national leadership. All of them are. Rita Cosby and from former Defense Secretary Caspar Weinberger for actions to be taken. First of all, actions to prevent any further terrorist attack from taking place on U.S. soil. Secondly, for rescue efforts, which are undoubtedly taking place as we speak under horrendous conditions. Undoubtedly, acts of heroism, unlike those we've had to endure before on U.S. soil, are taking place right now as you look at some of the destruction that those rescuers are going to have to deal with in the moments and hours and days to come. But also, as Rita was pointing out, the president has to decide what kind of reaction our nation takes to this particularly heinous act of terrorism. One group hadn't claimed credit for it, but perhaps governments of countries may have given some aid and support to those responsible for these acts. The president has a lot in his mind right now. We don't know where he is. He is in good hands. The Secret Service has our commander-in-chief under the most secure conditions imaginable. Now, as we mentioned before, at half past the hour, and it's past that, it's 33 minutes past the hour, American Airlines was going to make an announcement, and now we understand it's a written announcement about what has happened to its airlines. Our own Mike Tobin is on that story. Mike, what have you got for us? Mike Tobin, can you hear us? Mike Tobin, are you there? All right, Mike is going to get to us as soon as we can establish radio contact with him. American Airlines, we should say, has issued a statement about all this, that in fact it has lost 2 planes in tragic accidents today. There is one of the planes, flight 11. That flight that you just saw crash, this of course earlier, about 2.5 hours ago, took place in Lower Manhattan after about 20 minutes following the attack on the tower that is visible to you. That was flight 11, we can tell you. It was a Boeing 767. It was en route to Los Angeles from Boston. It was diverted by terrorists, as best as we can tell, to crash into the World Trade Center tower. 81 passengers were in that plane. There were flight attendants. There were 2 pilots as well. And that led to the collapse of the World Trade Center tower you are now seeing. And we hesitate to remind you, but we must do so, as to how many lives at least may have been involved in this. The Twin Towers contain 50,000 workers at any one given workday, and this was at the height of the workday, just prior to it, moments before 9 a.m. Our own Neil Cavuto is joining me now in Studio N to talk about destruction in an area of town that he's quite familiar with. Neil, if you can just hold on one second, we've established contact with Mike Tobin to give us more information about American Airlines. Mike, can you hear us all right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Mike, what does American Airlines tell us?
Well, they're confirming right now that they had a 767 and a 757, both flight 11, that was en route from Angeles with 81 21 passengers, 9 flight attendants, and 2 pilots. So 92 people on board Flight 11 and Flight 77. For the Boeing 757 was operating Washington Dulles to Los Angeles, 58 passengers, 4 flight attendants, and 2 pilots. They're not saying much right now. They're saying they're working with government and trying to keep time.
Program of your television set to main audio. You are listening to the second audio program, or SAP, of 6ABC. If you do not wish to listen to the Spanish language broadcast of 6ABC, switch the audio program of your television set to main audio. You are listening to the second audio program, or SAP, of 6ABC. If you do not wish to listen to the Spanish language broadcast of 6ABC, switch the audio program of your television set to main audio. You are listening to the second audio program, or SAP, of 6ABC. If you do not wish to listen to the Spanish language broadcast of 6ABC, switch the audio program.
How about if I just turn the channel?
Spark the writing paper.
A loose network, a loose association of people who have the same goal, which is an anti-United States goal.
Just unimaginable what we are looking at. You raised the point of what may have happened.
Enjoying the drive. Or just in
To make that judgment upon yourself. With all the things that they have with them, so.
Channel, you're on the keys.
He is, of course, the former commander of NATO, General Clark saying earlier, in his estimation, there is likely to be more trouble given the coordination and the scale of these devastating attacks this morning, September the 11th, 2001, on New York City and on Washington, D.C., and at least 4 commercial jetliners involved in these different attacks.
Also now saying that it is deeply concerned about another flight, that is United Flight number 175, a Boeing 757 that was traveling from Boston to Los Angeles. It said it's deeply concerned about that flight right now. We don't know the status of that particular flight right now. The United Airlines CEO, James Goodwin, saying that the thoughts of everyone at United are with the passengers and crews of these flights, including prayers. United is not saying how many people on board each of these flights, how many flight attendants, how many pilots. So at this point, that is their statement. They're saying 1 plane. They are confirming Flight 93 that was from Newark to San Francisco crashed near Pittsburgh. Another flight deeply concerned about United Flight.
Both towers, the tops of both towers are gone. Behind somewhere, plume of smoke that continues to rise over the Trade Center. What is left of those buildings, we cannot tell you. We cannot tell you. In Logan Airport, where at least 2, perhaps 3 of the planes involved began their day, officials now are meeting with reporters, and we can pick that up live.
That we've had various reports on.
Stop.
To call these following numbers. American Airlines, 800 245 0999.
Someone who both in fact and fiction has dealt with justice, and that's author Tom Clancy.
Mr. Clancy, this is, I guess, a terrible case of life imitating art.
I suppose you could say that.
oil flooding into this world. From your own knowledge, how concerned have
Never.
As Katie talked about before, retaliation occurs. How long does he have that support of the American people and of Congress?
And how long does he have the support of our allies? Matt, remember after the Persian Gulf War, after we had Saddam removed from Kuwait, everyone said, never again, we will stand up, we will drive him out, he'll eventually have to leave. What's happened now? We're practically alone in trying to enforce sanctions against Saddam Hussein.
Yes, but Tim, at the same time, I mean, we have seen almost worldwide condemnation of this attack, and people from all corners of the world seem to be